Rev up your engines! Okay, it's road trip time. Time to go back to Tennessee from Rhode Island. You never know what I'm going to find on the trip. Will I find a lot of electric cars? Who knows what's going to happen between here and Tennessee? But for the meantime, we're going to get the car ready, and I'm going to show you a bunch of stuff that I learned my trip to Rhode Island this time. Now, as I always say, you check the air pressure first thing in the morning when it's cold. 32, that's fine. And of course, you do it cold because as you drive, the tires get hot. Higher temperature, the pressure will go up, you'll get a false reading. So always do them cold. I put 32 in these. Make sure they're all the same. 32 again. And they better be because I got new tires. People were right. I didn't look at them closely. And they were going bald. I mean, they'd been on there like 60, 70,000 miles. So you still want to check your tires, even if they're new. You don't know if you hit a nail or something. You never know. Hey, I got a riding lawnmower, right? The second time I rode it, I had a flat tire. I have a honey locust tree. See these giant thorns? Well, when they fall down, you get holes in tires. Granted, I'm not driving a car under the honey locust tree, but there's a lot of construction around, so you just want to check your tires before a trip. And indeed, they're all 32 pounds, so the new tires are holding up fine. Now, of course, you want to check your oil, fluids, fan belts, all that stuff. Simple enough to do. Just wipe it off, stick it back in, and it's full, right on the full mark. You can open the radiator cap. It's cold. I haven't started the car yet. It's all the way to the top. Power steering fluid's fine. Check out the brake fluid. It's all the way there, that's full. You gotta keep your partner happy. Well, my wife hates dirty cars, so I would a vacuum cleaner. Now, this is an inexpensive Bauer that I bought. I got it at Harbor Freight Tools. It's worked perfectly fine. It's not a giant shop vac, but it's good enough for people to use in their own garage and cleaning your car. Because generally, wives hate dirty cars. I do have to say, these Manichi floor mats, my wife loves them. You got this nice leather underpinning, and then the mats fit on top and snap on. She really likes them. Now, they weren't cheap mats, relatively expensive set, but then again, a divorce is rather expensive too, so the mats were a lot cheaper. Now, you notice something new on the wall back there with a flashing green light. Well, that's so I can extend my Wi-Fi. All the new scan tools and electronic car analytical equipment, I need to have Wi-Fi for it to make it go in the garage because my main Wi-Fi is in the cellar. It's a long way from here. So, I originally tried this Baetai one, B-A-E-T-A-E-Y. What a piece of crap. Don't buy this. I got it on Amazon. Don't buy it. Stupid thing. Barely worked inside the garage here. As soon as I got out here, it won't work anymore. What a piece of junk. Don't buy one of these Baetai. I like that. Do not buy Baetai. Now, the one that I got here, this one works great. The only problem with this one is it's the good one, but if you look around, it has no name. There's no name. Now, the Baetai, they were dumb. They put their name on this piece of crap. This one's good, but it has no name. But I got it on Amazon, so here it is. Gong Sing, I guess. It was only 39 bucks. So now I noticed my new repeater plugged into the wall. I can go way out here, and it's still operating. The internet goes all the way to the end of the driveway. Where the other one, it stopped working right here. So bye-bye, Baetai. What a pile of junk that one was. And hello, Gunsing. But really, hey, you guys making Chinese products, will you put your names on them? Let's say I didn't remember in my Amazon thing. I said, I got this great repeater. What is this? I don't know. Made in China, but it doesn't have a name on it, right? But the other people, they put their name on it. It was a piece of crap. So maybe they're all afraid that they're making crap. I don't know. But so far, this new one works fine. It's got a much longer range than the old one did. Now, if you're looking for a decent scan tool, I found two of them this trip to Rhode Island. And they're both Autel. This is a smaller one. It is technically a Maxicom MK808Z, and this big monster here, we'll turn it on, you can see. It'll tell you what it is. And I'll tell Sis Ultra. And as usual, I don't do paid advertising. I just try out various things. And I have to say, these scan tools really impress me for two reasons. One is, you can get a really decent price on this one. It was like 500 bucks. Now, the new ones are Bluetooth and they're like 100 bucks more or 50 bucks more. I like this myself. Plugs in, no problems. I'm not that much of a Bluetooth fan. And this Sis Ultra, this thing just blew me away with all the stuff that it does. It does modern electric cars. It has all kinds of things. Now, as far as I'm concerned, the main downside of this Sis Ultra is the price. It's $5,000. So, I did notice one similarity between the $500 one and the $5,000 one. Last week, I upgraded them both They give you like a year free upgrades, right? I upgraded them both, and they were both upgraded with the same exact software. So, yeah, the $500 one doesn't do nearly the stuff that the $5,000 one does, but for analyzing codes and stuff, it's got a lot of similar software. And there's a big difference between $500 and $5,000. A serious guy working on cars, hey, this Maxicom, it's great. I use it all the time. And of course, it doesn't have an oscilloscope, a multimeter, a bus inspection for the CAN bus network, a waveform generator. You know, it doesn't have all these things. It doesn't have the Maxi data, database built by technicians. And of course, it doesn't have the memory that this thing has in order to connect everything together. You can see the data logging and stuff on this. Got a nice big memory card. Now, no scan tool is perfect, but I've talked to a lot of my mechanic friends too, and they said, hey, if we only had one scan tool, we'd go with this Autel Maxi Sis because of all the things it can do. But on the other hand, this is also a really professional tools with much of the same software for $500. You can't beat that, really. And to get the upgrades every year of software, it's like $125 or something a year for this one. When I looked at the upgradable software for the fancy Maxi Sis, it said it was $1,685 per year. So, you get my drift. The $500 one does an awful lot. Now, since I'm going on a trip, I'm going to clean the windshield, and I found something that I found pretty amazing. It's called fire water. A company called Lithium makes it. And no, it's not the kind of fire water you drink. It's for cleaning and sealing paint, metal, and glass. And man, this stuff works. They call it a water spot eliminator. It's also a cleaner. But once you put this stuff on, not only does it get rid of water spots, but it keeps them from coming back. You can use it on paint, you can use it on chrome, and you can use it on windshields. Hey, who would have thought you can use fire water? I suppose you could use fire water to clean, because alcohol's a pretty good cleaner, but this stuff is made for both paint, glass, and metal. And we're off the first day in a fog, and the sun is rising by the slowest speed limit sign. Ooh, rising over the hill. This old Americana, a drive-in movie theater, and it's still in existence. And there's an old abandoned dairy. Look, there's the jug. No ice cream there. And we're approaching the Hudson River. There's the cool old bridge the trains still use. And there's the Hudson River. They're always working on this bridge. And here I am where it all started. I'm actually a restaurateur. I started working here when I was 14. But actually it was my father's Texaco gas station. The doors used to be here. Here's a picture of me in front of the actual garage door. Here's a picture of my grandfather at the Texaco gas station. This was the bay door, and he would have been right inside here sitting where the maitre d' of the restaurant is now. And the bathrooms that I had to clean as a young man, well, the bathroom is still there, but the gas pumps are long gone. As is my grandfather and my father. Now, driving through Buffalo, and yes, they still make tires. Dunlop Falcon. My father worked in that factory when he was going to college to pay his way through. It was a Dunlop factory then, Dunlop only. Now, they've got some really cool old lift bridges. This one looks like it hasn't lifted anything in about 100 years. Check it out. Then there's the Peace Bridge, Fort Erie, Ontario, and out in the distance is Lake Erie. Now, I don't think they've made ice cream at the Fairmont Creamery for quite some time. Here we are, crossing the Pennsylvania line. Who would have thought they make wine in Pennsylvania? But yes, they do have vineyards in Pennsylvania, and quite a few of them. Grapes galore. Okay, so the people in Pennsylvania have lost their minds. First, as you can see, we're on a 4-lane highway. 2-lane there, 2-lane there, divider fence in the middle, right? Yet the speed limit is 55 miles an hour for the next 10.5 miles. And the next thing I see is a sign that says, by law, you must turn your headlights on here. I think the people in Pennsylvania have gone a little funny in the head. There's downtown Columbus, Ohio. Shiny little building. Now this is out in the country on the highway, about 30 miles south of Columbus. It was 50 cents a gallon more in Columbus. So they rip off the city people. Went to a foggy Cincinnati in the morning. And here we are, back in Tennessee, back in Clarksville. Got to charge the wife's Lexus up. Been sitting for a while. Now, what did we learn? Well, on this trip, I did see 10 electric cars, 6 Teslas, 3 Hyundai electric cars, and 1 Chevy electric car. But here's the interesting thing. Yes, I only saw 10 cars on the highway between Rhode Island and Tennessee that were fully electric cars. But out of those 10, 6 of them were Teslas. But out of that, 2 of them were being towed. They're putting on flatbeds and being towed away. I don't know if they broke or they ran out of electricity. And 3 of the electric cars that were Hyundais, one of those 3 was being towed on a flatbed. I don't know if it broke or ran out of electricity. But even worse, I only saw 1 electric Chevy car and it was on a flatbed being towed down the road. They seem to need to be towed a lot more than regular cars, whether they broke or ran out of electricity. The cars aren't built that well. Stay away from them, you know? So now I'm back in Clarksville, ready to check out everybody's cars. Get a hold of me, just email scottykilmer@gmail.com. I'm gonna bring your car here, I'll check it out, see what your problem is, help you out. Feel free to contact me and set up an appointment so I can help you out and help everybody else out by showing them what goes right and what goes wrong in real vehicles owned by real people that aren't paid for by advertising companies. Just the truth. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.